Buddies, it's almost here. We're going to Jasper. It is the Jasper Pond Hockey Tournament. We were there last year, had a heck of a time. We're going back again. Shout out to our friends at Tourism Jasper, and it's presented by Booster Juice. Booster Juice. Now, space is limited for this tournament. It's going to be held at the Fairmont Jasper Park Lodge. It is beautiful. Nation Network going to be there. We got the Oilers guys and Leaf guys. We're going to have some fun. Edmonton plays Calgary on the Saturday night. We're all going to get together, watch it. Frank Seravalli's coming in from Philadelphia. We're going to have a fun time. You should get there. Space very limited. You can go to chehockey.com to get more information. Maybe you can get a team in there. But by all means, follow along on social media as we'll be doing our thing. The Jasper Pond Hockey Tournament, fueled by Booster Juice. Download the new Booster Rewards app today. Start earning berry points for delicious and nutritious smoothies, drinks, and food that'll get you through the day. It's the new year, right? Everybody's doing the New Year's resolution thing. Being healthy. Be healthy with Booster Juice.
Well, we had an inkling it might not be a boring one at the Dome, despite two of the worst 8 teams in the NHL clashing on Scotiabank ice. And Rhett, this one did not lack offense nor excitement. If people are listening to this after watching the game or having been at the game, I would suggest they might be smiling and enjoying that one, Rhett. It was a fun one at the Dome as the Flames win 6-3 over the Senators in their only visit to Calgary this season. Welcome to Afterburner. Rhett, how are you?
I'm great. Yeah,
Show us your shirt. Show us your shirt.
I wore this for Jack.
Oh, isn't that nice?
Because this is what we're good. Jack, I'll get you one for the game on Sunday. It'll be great. You'll love it.
Very good. 1 game homestand, first game back, last game before you leave, all in one, right? They swept them all.
It was too much.
Did it all.
Yeah, and I guess you give him credit for a good game, but I also give Korpisalo a lot of credit for being horseshit. So it was perfect.
Yeah, or he's a double agent that actually wanted the Flames to win.
There you go.
But
no, you know what it is?
You know what?
Steos he's got Korpisalo on the right model.
Yeah.
He's got him behind closed doors. He's like, you just keep doing what you're doing. It's fine. You're gonna feel some heat from the fans, but we're gonna take care of you. Next year, play your heart out.
Yeah, and again, this is not Steve Steos' guy. This was Pierre Dorion's guy, the former general manager.
Well, Pierre Dorion makes hockey decisions.
Some of them are sound ones too. I don't know that Korpisalo will turn out to be that, but it is a 6-3 win for the Calgary Flames and a big night for the dads, who we learned tonight are, well, gearing up for the dads trip. There were a lot of them in a suite tonight, hanging with Lanny. Nothing better than that. Hanging with Lanny. And they'll be joining the team in Phoenix and Vegas this weekend, which sounds like a great idea, Rhett. I really think we should hit the road with the Flames.
Why aren't we on? Yeah, let's get on the plane.
Is your kid old enough to be on this team? Can he get called up from the Wranglers? Where's he at?
He might be a little young.
Yeah.
And he's a little sick, so I don't think.
Might be a little suspended too. We don't know. We'll have an update on that
No,
later.
he's not.
Let's get right to our Betway highlight of the night. We do it for our good friends at Betway. They'll be coming out to Jasper for the Pond Hockey Tournament next weekend. A couple of the Betway pals. Looking forward very much to catching up with them. Betway, 19 plus, Ontario only. Bet the responsible way with Betway. For our highlight of the night, why don't we just go to the winner? That's easy. Or any of the 6 Calgary Flames goals. Wow.
I made a pass. But Seri steals it back with some good work. Here's Kadri. Hannafin looking for a second. Breaks the stick. Turns it. They score! Broken stick turned into a pass to Coleman. And he gives Calgary their first lead of the night.
Rhett, they don't ask how. They ask how many. And for Blake Coleman, that's a skill play from Hannafin. To break your stick and put it right onto his tape there. You give him 100 tries. I don't know how many guys can do that.
What a fake! All I could think about, because I listened to Noodles on the Sens broadcast.
Yeah,
and they're talking. Oh, tough. That's Ottawa's season, I think, right there. Right?
Yeah,
like they're playing pretty hard, and it's just kind of like, oh.
This game was right there for Ottawa. They score one in the dying seconds of the first period to come out 2-1. The Flames had just been getting momentum, and it's like, yeah, Good road game. Flames are tired. This could be yours. They lose 6-3. It doesn't end up being close. This is a tough. You could sense the deflation. Jacques Martin called the group fragile in some conversations since arriving as consultant and now interim head coach. Kind of looks like that. Something goes wrong, and we've seen it with certain iterations of the Flames over the last 15 years. There's some groups where something bad happens, and they're like, "What's next?" This is all that's happened to us. Kind of the Flames last year in a way.
100%. And I was a little surprised you went with that. I mean, it is quite a talented play by Hanifin, but that Zari shot or Zari, whatever we're calling him again.
Well, let's play that too. I mean, I
bullet.
We get into a habit of just playing the game winner, which is great because that's consequential. But yeah, Connor Zary again. And I had him for the assist tonight. I was getting worried, but don't worry, he got one of those. So we got the hit on Betway on our bet today, at least on the Flames side. This is a pretty finish.
What is Chikrin doing?
Yeah, I saw something today that I found fascinating that, it's a new regime in Ottawa. Obviously, with Steos and the former TSN analyst whose name's eluding me right now. You mentioned him. Say it again.
Poulin.
Yeah, Dave Poulin. Thank you. And they didn't make that Chikrin deal, which was a big one. And, you already saw the Senators add Alex DeBrincat and then sell him at a lower price a year later. Apparently, they're open to conversations about Jacob Chikrin. I get it. It's a new regime, but and look, if something's not right here, maybe it's the mix, but you see that play, you see the goal scoring totals, you look at the injury history, like Chikrin was sort of a beauty's in the eye of the beholder. Like a lot of people were like, he's great. A lot of people were like, risk reward. Other people too injury prone. Like it's interesting to think about this rebuild. Like they went in too soon. They went and got DeBrincat and Chikrin. They weren't ready.
See, and for me, it's whether it was too soon or not. I wasn't thinking that. I was thinking, look at your decor. What do you have there?
Yeah.
Do you need a Chikrin? Like I didn't think they ever did. I was like, well, if Sanderson's going to be what he's supposed to be,
right,
and Shabbat's supposed to be, and
you've got Zub, you've got
Do you need that type of player again? I don't know. It seemed a little overkill to me.
Yeah, and Noodles mentioned it on the main show today. Like they got 3 of their best D all shoot the same way. So what are you doing? We'll see. Those are tough seasons when you're young and there's expectations and it's not going right because there's not a lot of guys they can lean on and be like, hey, how do we get through this? Like there just isn't in key positions. Like sure, Giroux, I guess, maybe Tarasenko, but
well, they should be, but it doesn't look like it's happening. And that poor Timmy Stutzel looks like he's about ready he needs a vacation.
Yeah, someone ran over his dog or something, huh?
Yeah, he's not having fun at the rink right now.
That's a good young team. It's just a matter of when it all clicks. And I think the people making the decisions in Ottawa are better equipped to make good decisions than we've seen in the last 15, 20 years there. So not fun for Sens fans this year. But yeah, you'd take a lot of those kids on a lot of those contracts at this juncture of their careers. On the Flames side, I mean, there's some positives here, Rhett. I'm going to get you right to a DoorDash right now. Hungry for more. It's a pretty obvious one tonight for me. And, DoorDash, we tell you, it's not just restaurants, it's groceries, it's pharmacies, it's flower shops, it's whatever you want, from where you want, when you want it, delivered to your door. And right now, for you viewers and listeners, enter promo code NATION25 and you'll be entered. You won't be entered. You will absolutely be getting a 25% discount on your order and free delivery with orders over $15. That's NATION25 on your first order on DoorDash. Martin Posposil, like talk about a Class A pain in the ass tonight for the Ottawa Senators. Contact with goalies down the tunnel, comes back, heavy hits, interference call all over the ice, total ball of muck. And when he isn't doing this, I don't know that he's an NHLer. When he is, it's like, I can't imagine this team without him. He's amazing.
But don't all the good teams have a guy like him?
Yes. This is Ville Nieminen. That's who this is from your team. This is Ville.
We got to have some of that. And you're right. He's fun. Because you can just, like Kachuk wanted to, what?
Yeah.
I'm going to freaking, I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
It's the the pesty ball of muck side of Matthew Tkachuk, just not the offensive side.
Yeah.
But they missed it. There's not a lot of guys that do that. And Gilbert's tough, but he doesn't just drive you nuts. A pest is very different than being tough. And it's an element that I don't know anyone else on the team's good at. And not many guys around the league are, to be fair.
I think Kadri used to be a little bit, but he doesn't really play that game anymore, does he?
Time to time, you'll see it. And I think I saw the other day he's top 3 in the NHL in drawing penalties, and that's part of it. But yeah, when the other bench wants to kill you and is going out of their way to take runs at you, like Nick Cousins is in that category now. Marchand's perfected the art. He's the master of those dark arts. Matthew Tkachuk, like we've seen some guys that other teams absolutely hate, and if they're on your team, you love them. And that Marty Posposil's getting onto that short list, I think.
Yeah, he's going to be part of the for sure top 10 in that category.
What do you remember about Ville Nieminen? Because he came in at the deadline that year, I believe, from Chicago, and this sort of evil, mischievous, like massive toothy grin. But like,
well, that's everyone remembers the smile. I don't know. He was a great dude, and everybody loved him. But I mean, it's
that player, though, isn't it?
It's
like
that,
same thing.
Yes.
Okay.
It's 100%.
So if Marty Posposil was at the deadline, was it not?
I don't know. I'm looking it up, but it
was in 03-04. They brought Marcus Nilsson in, him in, Chris Simon in. Those are the 3 deals that year. That's the team you played on. Jesus, Rhett.
I didn't think he came from Chicago, but anyway, it doesn't matter.
We'll do some Googling. Where is Pike here? Pike should be in the comments clarifying. There it is.
Well,
Pike, there you are. I see you in there. And this is some of Posposil's work tonight. Like there's Tkachuk, who's a huge man. The tinted visor's another element. Like this is just
the tinted visor. That's
isn't it just amazing? It makes me happy. Makes me very happy. Wasn't there a line with Nieminen, Nilsson, and Donovan? That comes from Pike.
I believe there was. But we had so many injuries that they all like.
Yeah, the rotation would have been, especially playoffs, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So I'm doing the old Ville Nieminen.
I am too, because
Google here because you're too slow on it. I was trying to talk to buy you time. You talk, I Google. That's the better divisional labor on this one.
Chicago, AHL, NHL, San Jose, St. Louis,
Colorado, maybe. What are we doing here? Come on, Billy.
607, Calgary. Yeah, it was Chicago. You're right.
Thank you. Vindicated.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. Don't beat you on many of those, especially teams you played on.
Yeah.
And look at that face. Just a Joker type grin, like menacing grin.
And he loves to have fun and be a pain in the ass. So he was really good at it too.
People can do this job, but very few relish in doing this job. And that's what Marty Posposil seems like. Like he had a great time tonight because everyone wanted to kill him.
Yeah, he's like, this is exactly my game. I'm in the kitchen. I'm making drinks. I'm stirring soups. Whatever I got to do. Let's play.
Yeah, and on some nights where you're like, oh, I didn't really notice him a ton.
Possible.
Yeah,
it takes a lot of energy though.
It sure does.
Yeah,
I wouldn't recommend it for 15-year careers. But for a lot of these guys, that's their ticket to play in this league. You look at Alex Burrow, he started in the East Coast League. That was part of his game. I think Rafi Torres was referenced on a Department of Discipline show I did with Jay Rosehill today. Like there's a lot of guys that do this. And if you happen to be big and skate and have a touch of skill, that helps. Really liked Posposil for Hungry for More. Again, DoorDash, the promo code is Nation25. First order, $15 or more, 25% off, and free delivery. And don't forget about Double Dash. Ooh, it's the new year. Everyone's settling in at home, cold weather. Get them to grab groceries and something from the pharmacy on the way. 1 delivery charge, not 2. And if it's your first, hey, you got the promo code for the first one free. That is Hungry for More for DoorDash. Anyone stand out to you or like, keep doing that? Keep going.
Well, Markstrom.
Yeah. I mean, yes and no.
Yeah. And we have this conversation every time. It's like, hey, it's great. You're playing awesome. Could you stop maybe? Like, was this
or it's like he's playing so well, Rhett. Someone just offered 2 firsts and a prospect for him. Like, get him out of here. Let's go. It is an interesting decision. You know, that road trip was so close to a good one. We talked about it on the main show. You almost win in Philly. If you just take care of business in Chicago, it's 6 of a possible 8 points. Maybe somehow you could have got an overtime point in Philly, whatever. Instead, it's 500. It's 6 of 7 on the road. That would have been a tough one to get up for tonight. All the times you tell us it would travel in first game back. They're right back at it. 2 teams in playoff positions as it currently stands, Arizona and Vegas. But they're just not out of many games. They aren't.
I was going to say, like, again, they showed up and competed. I think we were disappointed with the Chicago game as far as effort and who they're playing against, this and that. But I thought it might be a little bit more of the same tonight, just with the travel and the schedule and leaving again tomorrow. They showed up. They were there. Was it their best game ever? I don't think so. I think that Posposil helped the cause, but I still think the Flames probably, especially with Markstrom playing the way he did, they deserve the win.
Yeah, it would have been a fun one to be at.
Yeah, it would have been a lot of fun, actually. And when you looked at the schedule, you're like, ooh, Ottawa, cold January night? No, thanks. It's a hell of a game.
We had the inkling on the show today. You and I both kind of had that, two bad teams sometimes can make a good game. And I'm not saying the Flames are bad and Ottawa's bad. I'm looking at the standings. Like, these are 2 in the bottom 8 by points percentage. But this was a fun one. If that was your first ever NHL game, you loved it. You're like, give me more.
And 2 teams that wanted to get back in the win column. Like,
yes.
Obviously, Ottawa's struggling, but the Flames losing 2 in a row, you don't want to extend that. So
I'm pulling up Markstrom's game log here because I saw some 20-game breakdowns on the club earlier. And his numbers in the first 20 games weren't great, but even the first half of that, it was really the first 11, 12 where they were just awful. After the outdoor game, I think you finally started to see this group looking like what, is closer to the potential on a night-to-night basis. And, they're back to 500, I believe, with the win, which is quite an achievement after a 2-7-1 start, I suppose. But like his last 3 tonight on 33 shots, that's 900. 3 on 42 in Philly, that's 929. 1 on 29, that's 966 in Philadelphia. Back it up to New Year's Eve, Philadelphia, 3 on 28, 3 on 31, that's 903. Seattle, 905. You got to go all the way back to LA, back before Christmas, where this guy didn't have a game above 900. And a couple of games before that, he shut out the Ducks. This has been a very good run for a guy that got Vezina votes the year that Vancouver made some noise in the bubble in Edmonton, and then finished second in Vezina voting here in Calgary with that great year under Darryl where he had 9 shutouts. I mean, this is looking more like regular Jacob, whereas last year was the outlier, and last year at this time we were wondering.
Wow. I said it this afternoon. I feel like it's a waste, though, in a way, right? Like, you give him credit for the way he's playing and he's battling and he's bounced back. I thought last year was terrible for him. Should be in the Vezina conversation to a certain extent, but the other guys have played so well. Maybe it's less, but you're only 500 and you're getting like but the numbers you just said. But.
And again, like, you can play both sides of the coin on everything with this team because they are hanging with good teams and they work hard, but they're also close to the bottom. I mean, every argument can go both ways in a sense. Is it good? Is it bad? It's like the whole Simpsons ice cream skit. It's good. It's bad. It's good. It's bad. That's bad. That's good. But if he's going to play like this, like last year, this time you wondered if you could even trade him.
Yeah.
Like he's got 870 something and with 3 years left and you're like, oh boy, like, I don't know.
Yeah, you don't.
And then now it's like, shit, if he's a Vezina vote getting guy, you could get a haul for him.
If you're ready to move
he might
him.
convince you not to trade him because he's so good.
Wow, and you've got to groom that other kid. We've talked about that too. It's all fine and good to get rid of him, and if you can get a king's ransom, that's awesome. But you better hit home runs with those picks because we know, we suspect Wolf's going to be able to do the job. But if he can't, you're just one of those teams. You're one of those teams that's going, hard to win here without a goalie.
And it's kind of a conversation about Vladar in a way because he just hasn't told you what he is. He's too inconsistent. If he had looked solid, you'd be like, okay, that can be your vet, but he hasn't. And it's like, hey, he'll be a good backup. It's like, well, he hasn't done that either. It's almost to the point where it's like maybe you call LA and say, we'll take Talbot off your hands. You get Markstrom and we get some assets. And, there's your cup winning goalie rather than a guy having a nice year who we think is a middle of the pack goalie. Not to suggest that that's a real deal, but maybe you are getting a veteran to insulate Dustin Wolf and you just cut your losses with Vladar. We'll see.
I don't know what the answer is, but it is a complicated approach. I mean, you clamor for return if you're going to move them and get a couple of firsts or whatever it might be, but those aren't guarantees either. Like it's still not. And LA is going to be what? They're high end standing, so it's not like it's a high end first pick.
No, for sure. Pick. And look, they've
if it's LA,
every team, all these contenders have guys, and I think all these get used to that. By the way, because if you're trading Chris Tanev, guess who doesn't need him? A team missing the playoffs. And if you're trading Elias Lindholm, guess the same thing. If it happens to Hanifin. So you are going to get picks, but they're going to be most likely 25 to 32. Those are your people up and down the aisles at the deadline going shopping. What can we get? What are the prices? We're okay with rentals. In fact, we almost prefer it because then we'll get some clarity on the cap for next year.
And this is the whole problem I have with the organization. And you could, if you want to break it down, it's because Huberdeau's not a superstar. If you have this team and Huberdeau's a 115-point player, you're in the playoffs. Yeah, you're in a different conversation, right? But you don't win in this league. Yeah, you absolutely. Goaltending for me is always first, and for a lot of guys, it's first. And it's when you have it, you have a chance. But not many of the high-end teams, or all the high-end teams, have superstars. Yeah, and we don't.
No,
we don't. Yep. And we've talked about it a lot, and it's repeat. But how do you get a superstar?
Yeah, it's a very rare, didn't pan out, change of scenery, but 9 times out of 10, it's picking in the top 10. That's what it is. It's high picks. And maybe you can serve both those masters, Rhett. Maybe it's okay.
Maybe you have to move Markstrom, not because he's giving you a king's ransom, because you got to get him in lineup so you can drop it.
Maybe it's both. Right? Maybe it's both. And again, I don't think anyone's going to catch the Anaheim, Chicago, San Jose crew, and maybe you lump Columbus in there, but this Ottawa team's got enough talent. They could have a run.
And they've got so many games in hand that they should
more points and anyway. Columbus, maybe they get their shit together. They aren't untalented, but if this team is playing without Hanifin and without Tanev and without Markstrom and without Lindholm,
it's going in a certain direction.
Even if you put Dan Vladar in net tonight, maybe this is going to overtime. I don't know. He just hasn't been that good on a consistent basis at all. And then just to further the unending goaltending conversation, if you're Dustin Wolf, what more can you do?
Nothing. What you have to do next is play in the NHL and prove yourself.
He's undeniably been one of the best AHL goalies of all time.
Yep.
And he's had 3 or 4 starts in the NHL. He hasn't proven anything at that level. What we know about Dustin Wolf is he is one of the best AHL goalies of all time. What we know about him at the NHL level, he needs another crack.
Yeah. He's going to need a run. Not even just a crack. He needs a run.
No, and he needs his chance to be an NHLer, not a pop-up for a weekend set when they're in Eastern Canada and Marky's nursing something. But here's your job. Here's your stall. Let's go.
I 100% agree with you. But again, that goes back to what are you doing with the team?
Yep. It's all that web that Don Maloney, Dave Nonis, Craig Conroy, Jerome McGinley, they're going to have
too many voices. Too many voices.
They could add one more. There's this rough and tumble coach out of Buffalo, that up and comer. They could add him to the mix. We'll take a break. Your questions on the other side. Also look at the road ahead. I got a weird stat for you. The Flames have been on the road a ton. Not quite done with that, but long time. They're not going to have to worry about getting on an airplane. We'll explain that when we come back. And, Dad's trip, Mullet Arena. Updates on those as well when we come back. It's Afterburner after a 6-3 win. Flames over the Sens here on Flames Nation. BK Beaufort Liquor is a proud sponsor of Afterburner. In fact, our very first sponsor ever, right back to our first Afterburner ever. Big thank you to Mandeep, Manjeet, and Jazz. Huge Flames fans, a heck of a family. Good-looking cashier, Mandeep, as well. Find them right across from Winsport on the Trans-Canada Highway. Whether you're grabbing some beer for your place in town or you're heading to the mountains, make sure you stop in, say hello. Whether it's a specialty wine, liquor, six-pack of beer, whatever it is, check it out and grab it at BK Beaufort Liquor. We've been telling you about our daily survivor pool at dailyfaceoff.com for Wendy's. Now, you know SOG, GAA, and PPG can make or break your week, but don't overlook the BPMM. The Wendy's Bacon Portobello Mushroom Melt. Aha, the BPMM. Sure, it may not help you win your weekly fantasy prizes at dailyfaceoff.com, but unlike your predictions, it never, ever disappoints. Oh, BPMM. So try your luck, but don't push it, because the Bacon Portobello Mushroom Melt is only back for a limited time. And if you miss it, you're not getting a second chance. So sign up for Daily Face-Off today. It's the Survivor Pool, sponsored by Wendy's and the Wendy's app. Love that. BPMM. There's not much better than hockey season, and yeah, you can always cheer on your favorite team at the Grey Eagle Resort and Casino's Stage Bar. You can enjoy the games on the massive big screen TVs they've got hanging above the bar. Friends, drinks, delicious food. Let's go. Visit Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.ca for more information. Now, maybe it's not game time yet, but there's always happy hour in the afternoon. Make the most of your day with great drinks and food at the Stage Bar and Blaze Bar and Grill for the happy hour every day, 2 to 5 at the Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Great food, specialty drinks, all starting at $5. Visit Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.ca for more information. We'll see you there. Welcome back to Afterburner. Calgary Flames, 6-3 winners. Rhett Warner hammering ice cream. It is nothing.
Cheesecake.
But wins
it's
all
so
of
good. Cheesecake.
Cheesecake. Just straight, or is it a particular variety or style?
Plain cheesecake. It's so good.
You've never wanted a 5-minute commercial break so bad, have you?
You kind of jump back in real fast.
You're used to the old shop. You could just kick back for 7 minutes sometime. You don't have to worry. Go up to the third floor, rock a dose. Okay. Wanted to talk about some performances tonight. We highlighted Martin Posposil, who'd credited with 7 hits tonight. Michael Backlund ties Mark Giordano second in career games by a Calgary Flame. That's an impressive number. He's suddenly within the grasp of 1,000. And if he's healthy through the remainder of this contract, he's going to get close to Iggy's. It's been quite a journey for Michael Backlund, because I don't think he established in his own mind, the organizations of the fan bases, that he was a great NHLer for a while. But you look at him now, he's a consummate pro. It's an incredible feather in the cap, given how shaky it was for the first few years in the NHL, that he is now tied with Giordano and only shy of Iginla in games played. 6 shots tonight.
I'm going to take a cheap shot at him.
Good. Yeah, go.
Awesome. Good on you. I was there when you came in.
Yeah.
But I would like to see have some playoff rounds under your belt, please, before you check.
Yeah.
out.
No, that's fair. And the real hope in this market is that somehow you could get younger, shed UFAs, gather some cap space, maybe help people with some bad contracts at the deadline, amass more picks, but also be competitive again soon. It's not easy to do, but the New York Rangers did it brilliantly. They had the letter to season ticket holders, and 2-3 years later, there they are back in the playoffs. And not just there, like the Islanders get there as a lower seed where we'll trap you to death to have a goalie and win, but they're a cup contender. And this is certainly not the same situation with the same parts. And I don't expect an Adam Fox to fall in the Flames' lap, but there are teams that can turn things around in less than the Buffalo, Columbus, Ottawa. Edmonton time frame, right?
Yeah.
That's the hope here. I don't think it's easy at all, but it is possible.
And I'm actually serious. Like, for Michael Backlund, like even Iggy, if you look at his career, there were a few years we always made the playoffs, but it wasn't you had one real run at it.
You got through the first round once.
Yeah. Like,
that's a crying shame.
It's shameful. And for Michael Backlund, you want to see him deep in the playoffs and cut under his eye and battling, right? Like in that sort of situation. That's what
I liked him in that Edmonton series. I did not like a lot of the Flames.
He was the best player.
Chuck. I didn't like Gaudreau. I didn't like Hanifin and Anderson, their top pair. I did not like Elias Lindholm. He was good. That line of him and Coleman and Mangiapane was better than their top line, which was the top line in the NHL 2 years ago. It was quite something. Second all time. So he is lining up on Thursday to move into sole possession of second past Giordano. And yeah, he's still a good, 300-ish, almost 300 shy of Iginla. Incredible. Other performances, 2 more for Yegor Sharangovich. He's passed last year's goal total, Rhett. 13 last year.
How's that looking?
Very good. 14 this year. It didn't look so good when he was on centering the fourth line for a month.
No.
But maybe that's part of breaking a guy down to build him back up. Not maybe mentally like other coaches would do it, but systems, details. Like, walk me through what you've seen, because he started up top in camp. He was playing with Huberdeau and Lindholm.
I think it's just a comfort thing. And the amazing part is that if you start at a top line and you work your way to the fourth line, usually your confidence goes to shit.
Yeah.
Right? And it's real hard to dig out of. But it looks like he finally just got comfortable, maybe got a couple points, and he looks like he fits in perfectly up there. Like,
and for a team
shot,
lacking finishers,
yes,
this guy can shoot it. It's a nice little bet.
From where we are, it's hard to know, but I got to think that the coaching staff has been a huge part of it.
Especially that path you just talked about. Top line, second, third, fourth line. And then move him up here. And now you get a sniff with Lindholm. And now you're back where it started in camp with Huberdeau and Lindholm.
And looking really good.
Napkins in August, believe it or not.
Even Huberdeau made a couple plays today. I was like, okay, that's good.
Yeah. I like the assist. It's points, 6 in his last 6, points in 5 of his last 6. You're seeing him. Baby steps.
I think even on one play, he attacked the net and took a shot with like confidence and purpose and intention. And I'm like, okay, didn't score, but it didn't look like a guy that was like, I'm not sure if I should pass. Like, he was like, no, I'm going to take to the net and rip a shot. Yes, good.
Blake Coleman's career high is 22 goals, Rhett. He's at 17.
Oh, he'll cruise past
halfway point of the season officially after tonight. He's on pace for 34 goals. Blake, if you get to 30, we'll love it. Wow.
I'm worried about jinxing him.
17, by the way, the same number he had last year. 18 last year in all 82 games. One off last year's total. We talked on the show today about guys who've had disappointing seasons. There's been some career years as well. That's impressive stuff. Wanted to talk about Coleman. 2 more.
But again, it's odd because at the start of the year, or even 6 weeks ago, we were all kind of like, come on, not about Coleman specifically, just about guys in general. It's like, we don't have this. We need more. It's kind of starting to show up and be all right. Like the depth is coming around.
Also wanted to note Nazem Kadri, 600 points eclipse tonight. Not nothing. He's been very good since the outdoor game where he had them dress up like buckwheat.
Yeah, not sure what that was, but that's, maybe
everything since then has been great. Yeah. I'm just going to pretend that's when he arrived in Calgary.
Apparently that must be very stressful, trying to decide and figure out what to go with. He made a terrible decision. Maybe he knew that and he was feeling shame, and now it's past and
it's over.
Yeah, you can just play hockey.
We can't change those outfits. No more sleepless nights.
Dude.
Wardrobe's not for you. No. You worry on hockey. All-star last year, part of their most effective line this year. On the whole, I'd suggest. Zary again, great. So there it is. A team 8th from the bottom coming in, and we just spoke glowingly of like a half dozen players. And I didn't even mention Noah Hanifin, 1 goal, 2 assists, 6 shot attempts, 3 on net, 24-47 in ice time tonight.
Pick him up.
Pick him up.
Do you want to get rid of him now? He looks
I
good.
I need to know exactly what the least amount of money he'll sign for is and exactly what the biggest package I could get in trade for him is. Because I can be sold on both sides, right? He's young enough that you're not worried about him being bad. He skates really well. He should age well. He plays big minutes. You need defensemen desperately moving forward. You've only got Uyghur and Anderson under contract. I also think that I could see why
somebody else
contender would really love him. Like Toronto would absolutely kill for Noah Hannafin. You know, they are so thin back there. They've got injuries. They are long in the tooth in some. Like they could use a 24-47 a night defenseman. They've got Riley to run the power play. They've got some physical guys that they just need minutes. And what are they willing to give up for a guy like that? I don't know the answer because I don't know what they're getting offered on March 8th, and I don't know what extension he's going to say, okay, I'll stay. I don't know what that number is either over 8 years.
Boy, if you're in Toronto, if you're Tree, you got to manage the team for more than 1 year, but all you have to do is win once. Do you know what I mean? Like,
oh, yeah. The whole Nylander conversation we had with Frank on Monday.
Yeah.
They win one cup. It's like, right move.
Who cares? It's irrelevant. You know, like.
Smart move. They could let Mitch Marner walk in free agency next year, get nothing for him. And if you win a cup, worth it.
All good.
Asset management, my ass. Flags fly forever. They have done shit since 67.
Yes.
Right?
You just wonder, like, I feel like they'd want to take the stab while Marner's there, but how do you do it with the cap and all? I don't know.
There's some star players up when Marner's money's off too, Rhett.
Like
just
what?
saying. Star players. Tavares' money comes off. Marner's money comes off. You just transplant those two Oilers right into Toronto. Let's go. Told you McDavid would win a cup. That plays well in Edmonton. That story, that line, doesn't it?
Mm.
Road ahead. We do it for Village Honda. We talked about how busy it's been on the road. You don't know how bad it is on the roads in Calgary. We have minus 30 coming at us this weekend. A little bit greasy out there. This is when you need a reliable vehicle. You don't want one. You need one. This is Canadian winter. It's finally arrived. Reality check. It is January in Calgary. If you're looking for a pre-owned vehicle or new, it's villagehonda.com, or go say hello, carefully get there, and then get yourself a reliable vehicle at Village Honda in the Northwest Auto Mall. And if you don't have, they don't have exactly, kind of looking for this, don't worry. They got access to over 400 pre-owned vehicles in their dealer group, the Wood Auto Group, and also new vehicles, MSRP, manufacturer's suggested retail price. That means you're not getting screwed. It's a good deal. Love it. The road ahead is this: Arizona tomorrow night, Thursday night. Check that. Almost tomorrow night. We will be. You're packing your bags. Are you packed?
Packed and ready.
Bring extra underwear. That's my rule of thumb for traveling. You need toothpaste, extra underwear. That's the rule. Okay, good. No comments. I'll take it. That's fine.
Yeah,
that's Vegas.
I don't want to dig into that too much. No.
It's just, after the holiday spirits show, I think, you can have some. Dean told us he would have loved an extra pair of underwear that day. Vegas will wrap the dad's trip.
I forgot about that segment.
I know. There's a lot of I forgot about this show. It's better that way sometimes. It's 2 games and 3 nights in the desert for the fellas. Yotes, then nights. Then look at this. Red means home game, Rhett. What are you looking at there?
That's a Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Arizona, Toronto, Edmonton. And then Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, St. Louis, Columbus, Chicago.
And what color are all those games?
Those are all red, Ryan.
Those are all home games, Rhett. And then they get into All-Star break, and then they don't play on the road until February 6th.
That's when they go to shit.
That is nearly a month where they don't have to leave their beds if they don't want to. Boston, they will start their post All-Star break portion of the schedule on the road. For a team that has seen a lot of airports, hotel beds, and tarmacs, they get to hang out at home if they can get through this weekend with some points, all the better. For them, at least. Maybe not for the rebuild. A lot of road hockey that Almost done. By the time you get to Saturday night against Vegas, it's their 6th game on the road of their last 7. They're ready for some home time, I'm thinking, Rhett.
41-41. I think that's how it works.
It is true. For all the 6-game roadies, you often get the 6-game homestand. That's what they're looking at into All-Star break. Okay, we'll take our final break. Again, that's the road ahead for Village Honda, villagehonda.com. And go say hello. Your automotive adventures start there or at the Northwest Auto Mall. Say hi to Big Tony, Anthony and company. On the other side, your comments and questions as we wrap Afterburner in the wake of a 6-3 victory over the Ottawa Senators. It's Afterburner. Are you thinking of buying or selling your home in the Calgary area? Well, there's one guy you've got to talk to. That's my pal, Derek Newman. Derek, born and raised in Calgary, volunteer, a pillar of the community, huge sports fan, girls, golfs, all kinds of sports, not to mention, yes, he loves indeed the Calgary Flames. So if you want to talk real estate in your community or you just want to chat about the Flames and what's going on in the sports world, you can give Derek a call. Incredibly friendly and approachable, but more importantly, trustworthy and incredibly hardworking. Take advantage of their complimentary in-house home staging consultation. Also, whether it's your first time or you're a seasoned buyer or seller of homes, he's going to understand what you're looking for and help you meet your goals. Also, Derek's network, substantial. He's able to find some homes that aren't even on the market yet. So whether you're buying or selling, or you just want to see what's going on with the value of your place, give him a call or a text. He's going to get back to you right away. Derek Newman of Newman Deans Real Estate with CIR Realty. Let Derek put his network to work for you. Call or text Derek right now at 403-619-6661 or email him at dnewman@cirrealty.ca.
Greta, it's our home away from home for Afterburner. We'll be there for live watch parties throughout the season. Should be your spot regardless. Before, during, and after the game, grab a cocktail, something from the menu, let the games begin, or maybe you get into the game yourself. Over 50 arcade games from vintage to state-of-the-art. Load up some credits on that Greta game card of yours and get at it. Greta Calgary, located at 213 10th Avenue Southwest. Check them out online, gretabar.com. We are well into the winter months now, and you can feel it, can't you? That urge to get away. Maybe some beach time to warm up those bones of yours. Maybe a hockey, sports kind of road trip. Well, when you pack your bags, make sure you don't forget Alberta Blue Cross. There's only one thing better than sharing memories, and that's making new ones. Alberta Blue Cross Travel Insurance protects your memories and more, wherever travel takes you. Visit ab.bluecross.ca/travel for more information. Alberta Blue Cross, celebrating life's memorable moments inspired by hockey.
Welcome back to Afterburner, a 6-3 win for the Calgary Flames over the Ottawa Senators. Ryan Pinder and Rhett Warner coming at you on this Tuesday night. Rhett, a lot of shots into the one of the boxes, the suites in the Saddle Dome. It is Dad's trip. I feel like, if I'm guessing, you just missed out on the advent of the Dad's trip, or did
the DUG
the DUG? Did he get on a few?
He did not come on a trip, but he was invited. We were in. Must have been Detroit.
Okay.
He happened to be there. And Big D actually said, hey, why don't you, we were going to Philly or something. He said, why don't you hop on the plane and come with us? And I don't know why he didn't.
So Daryl invited a dad out of the blue to
farming. He was
going to say, someone's talking about soil
agriculture business. They got talking about ag. Come on.
You've seen that new line of tractors? Oh, wow. You got to get on this plane. We can't stop talking about it.
I'm still stunned that he didn't go on it. I was like, I can't believe you're not going. This is kind of dumb of you, to be honest. But anyway.
You get a little bit of the jealousy when you see it. Like that would be special for a lot of dads of players that didn't get to experience this.
I don't know. I guess I wouldn't call it jealousy, but
yeah, that's the wrong word.
It would have been fun for him to do it, just to experience it. But I think he enjoyed it nonetheless.
Yeah, fair enough. And it's not like families don't come see their players, but just to get the dads together, I feel like that'd be a ton of fun. I know they do the moms trips now too, which is awesome. I remember we were in
Vegas.
I think it was the first ever Flames game in Vegas. We were camped out at the Hard Rock for that one, I believe. I think it was Pyeongchang Olympics around then. We had a very famous hot mic with
Lubo,
yes, that day. It's very early. People were doing hot laps at 4 a.m. around the lobby when we were on the air. But it was mom's trip. And I don't know if Johnny and the boys are distracted with the moms or whatever, but it was like 11 shots in and 11 minutes in, they hadn't got a shot on net and they just got throttled.
Yeah.
The moms still went out and celebrated, I'm sure, which is kind of cool.
I don't know if my mom would have enjoyed it as much as my old man, but still cool for them to be able to do it.
Yeah. No, that's hey, some of the moms get at it. Who knows, right? Who knows?
And isn't it amazing? Vegas is still really popular. Just take people. Okay.
Yeah, and still steamrolling teams in their own building with pretty good regularity. It's quite a nice run. You talked about Michael Backlund's playoff games played, Mark Giordano's, like most of that Vegas roster's done that there already. It's more than that. Impressive stuff. We'll get to some comments and questions. Jack, our fine producer, is somewhere with a Barnburner Blonde in his hand producing tonight's show. Jack, what have you got for questions for us tonight? Okay. If Zary keeps up his good play, I think he'd be the next Gaudreau. He's pretty creative like Johnny was. Do you see similarities there, Rhett? I mean, it depends what this person means by the next Gaudreau, but if you mean like a guy with people buying lots of jerseys who's kind of a star, I'm in for that.
I think he's going to be a star. I think he sees the game. Was that shot tonight better than Johnny's?
In his first year, yeah.
Right? Like, I think he might have a better shot. I don't know if he sees the ice and spins and makes as many dishes as Johnny does, but he's still pretty talented. So,
yeah,
I mean, hard to compare whether it be the next Johnny, but I think he's going to be a hell of a player.
And I'll say this: if you're a Flames fan, and you're like, I need a jersey. Like, I can't be wearing this Yager 68 around anymore, or this Monahan. Like, there's a lot of jerseys. Tough few years for the jersey owners with 13, 93, 23, 19, 5, all those disappearing from the collection. I don't know that you can be more comfy about a guy being around for a long time and being really good than 47 and Zary.
Unless you like that gritty bastard Posposil.
Yeah, but again, like those guys, they
Zary's going to be around.
Play well, they fade.
Yeah,
is Posposil going to do that for 12 years?
No, I still remember.
Can Zary do this for 12 years? Like,
yes,
yeah, maybe.
Yes, I think he can.
So yeah, I agree with you. I don't think he's a great comp for Gaudreau. Maybe Marner's a better comp for Gaudreau, but again, we said it a couple of weeks ago when we did a show together. Poise and creativity. Zary.
It's all good. There's no
one else that has both those.
It's not a criticism. He's a good player.
Very good player. You asked what to do with Dubé. That is from Raiden. They put him in the press box tonight. What happens from here, right?
He stays there. They won 6-3, and none of the lines looked out of like.
Yeah, a lot of commentary for you. Let me quickly read you the line here. Not that that's
well, but what I was just going to say is you could bring him back in, and they probably will. But
yeah,
he's done nothing other than past service to earn ice time, right? Like
he moves around out there, but he's had a tough time creating stuff and finishing stuff.
Well, zip around like
it's cardio.
Yeah.
It's been tough. Yeah.
Get on the treadmill. Do something. Come on.
That's a classic fantasy football term when you get a guy's like, oh, geez, like 0 for 0. What happened? Was he hurt? It's like, no, he was out there for 80% of the snaps. Jesus, he's just doing cardio. Yeah. That's been Dubé this year. It's been tough. But I wouldn't be surprised if they put him back in for Dewar. Walker was not undeniable, but also if you want to give Walker a little run too.
Either one of them feel free to grab that position and just hang on to it. And I think it's an easier sell actually for Walker Dewar because I think it suits his game more being on the fourth line, just banging and crashing.
The other thing is like, if you get a run, don't blink because Pelche is now cleared for contact.
Yeah.
Coronado is right there. Kevin Rooney is now back and onto the HL roster, I assume, after clearing through waivers and being assigned there today. Like there's all of a sudden competition for minutes, even on the fourth line for guys. Klopka's been knocking on the door for a while. I still think we might see Benny Dimes or Ben Jones at some point. So yeah, get her done or someone else might.
Yep.
Okay. Next question. How did you like Kuznetsov's game? How does he compare to the other AHLers in DeSimone, Gilbert, Osterley, Solovyov? It's one game.
That's the hard part. It's one game. He was fine. I couldn't give an honest assessment.
He
Right, like-
described his game as simple. I think that's fair. He had a couple shots right away. He spotted some guys in some lanes. I'm sure if you go over the tape, there was a few, well, let's not do that next time, but I thought it was absolutely fine. For first game, guy that was drafted in 2020.
Yeah, NHL.
What are you, 20 years old?
Get
21?
through it.
Good for you. And that's interesting. You can think about him and Solovyov. Maybe that's a third pair in a year or two. That's not a bad thing to have,
if
right?
anyone else wants to come along and surprise us, maybe not even to the extent of Zari, but
Yeah.
feel free to get in the lineup and all of a sudden coach have to go, I guess I can't take him out anymore.
Yeah, I guess I can't play Nick DeSimone anymore because this guy's hauling it. Sure,
Yeah,
make it tough. Yeah. Next question. Should the Flames, this from I am Super Dave 100, should the Flames be looking to trade Coleman as a trade chip? He makes 4.9, and I believe this is your 3 of 6. I don't know that that's going to garner much of a return and garner much interest just based on those kinds of commitments. And I do think he's having a great year, and I do think he'd be an upgrade on a lot of teams' checking line right winger. But I just, no, I don't think it's going to happen.
Wow. Put the question back up. Is it do I think it's going to happen, or should they? They should, whoever is interested in anyone, be willing to have conversations.
They're listening on everyone not named Zeri, probably, right?
Yeah.
Like there's not a lot of untouchables here. Yeah, so he's definitely not that. I just, if people are saying he's going to be a chip, I'm like, a chip's really valuable, and I think he's a good player, but I don't know that, like, if he's expiring and they can eat half and he can go to a contender for cheap, you get a lot like Coleman. That's what New Jersey did when they sent him to Tampa. He was under market for 2 years on his contract, and Tampa's like, shit, this is awesome. We get that kind of production at that price. Take a first. That's not what they're looking at here. Great year.
Well, the other thing is too, though, you have to have a NHL lineup, and he's a professional, and he's a guy that kids like Zari can learn from. Posposil, right? Like, you do have to have that presence.
If you have Coleman and you have Backlund and you have Kadri and you have Weegar and you have Anderson, this isn't the Oilers throwing first rounders onto a team where no one knows how to play the right way. It's quite the opposite. There's some good role models about how to get things done in there. Different levels of it. Okay. We will move to our next one. This is from Richard. Richard? What do you do with Kadri? If the Flames are out of it at the deadline, do you trade him? Again, it's similar to Coleman. He would help a lot of good teams. He's got, by my math, 5.5 seasons left on a deal. It's a lot. He's already 34.
The answer is the exact same. If somebody wants him, let's talk.
Don't expect the bonanza is what I'd say.
No, and I would trade him if somebody wants him. I would trade him, but I don't care if I get anything in return. I'd be a hypocrite because I said get him out here last year, so I got to kind of stick with that. I just don't think.
If you're Colorado or Boston and you have Lindholm and Kadri today in the same box, like, hey, these two guys would be good number 2 centers. How attractive is this guy with 5 years left, who will be late 30s when it's over, versus this guy whose contract's up at the end of the year and is at low money? Like, it's night and day. They might be similar in their types of seasons they're having, but teams about to win a cup aren't swimming in cap space.
The other people are smart
right
too.
Against it.
Yeah.
Go ahead. The other thing you're saying. The other.
Oh, I said the other thing is that the other GMs aren't all idiots either.
Yeah.
They see that, what you just said too.
Which is why, realistically, your pending UFAs are the guys that'll garner the most attention. And that's basically what the guys we've been keyed on since the end of last season. Toffoli was a UFA traded. Backlund was a UFA extended. Zadorov was a UFA traded. They've got 3 left. on the roster in Lindholm, Hannafin, Tanev, and they got one more in the American League in Shillington. And I put him in a sort of different situation. I feel like if he's in a spot to play for this team, I think he's happy with the spot he's in this organization, the way he's been treated, and that hopefully if he's playing, it's a happy place to be and he wants to be here. That's a separate on its own. But you look to action on those UFAs. Guys that are locked in on long-term deals, they don't move very often. UFAs move all the time in this league. Okay, next question. What do we got? Ask Rhett. Best wings in Calgary. Now, this is just asking for a gratuitous shout-out.
It's not an ask. Well, maybe they sent it into the wrong.
Yeah, tune in on Friday for that answer. Ask Rhett at FlamesNation.ca for that. More from Raid in here. Lots of rumors on Markstrom. What's the ideal return? What would make you happy in a Markstrom trade, Rhett?
God, I do this. What would make me happy? Well, it's got to be firsts. A first and a real good player, I would actually prefer.
Lots. Yeah, you want a haul. Whether it's players or prospects, you want young, team-controlled assets.
Yeah, and like I said, like I would actually like a guy that I know what I'm getting instead of having to make a choice. It's great to want to make a pick and have the opportunity to make a pick and maybe hit a home run. But if you got a kid or a young asset, you kind of have an idea of what it is already or what you're getting. I'd prefer that right now.
You look at the deal that was made yesterday where it's Cutter Gauthier for Jamie Drysdale. If you could peel away a kid like that or a Bowen Byram in Colorado, like those are guys you're not guessing at a 17-year-old. You're looking at a 19 to 21-year-old that you've got 3-4 years of a book on at the pro ranks. You've got his draft year and his stuff in the pros, and you see how he fits in your league. Like you've removed a lot of the risk of a 29th overall pick, right?
Yeah, I don't need Mark Jankowski.
No, that's fair.
Right? Like you can get firsts and you can do nothing with them.
What's interesting is I think Jankowski was drafted around a similar slot as Zary, and that's sort of what you get in the 20s. You can get David Pastrnak and you can get a whole lot of guys that didn't play.
Yeah. What'd you have up there, Jack?
Why does everyone want a full-on rebuild? Do we really want 5 to 10 years of basically no players? Yeah, we're really just talking about our words. If you open the dictionary and you say rebuild, and it's like look it up, there isn't a one thing that has to be done, and here's how long it takes. What we're all talking about is not locking into an old team that's lacking stars and trying to get some of those expiring contracts and turning them into assets, and they could hopefully be stars for the next time this team's in a contention window. Maybe even in time for a new rink. Call it a retool, whatever.
Well, that's just, there's too many examples of there. A rebuild becomes defined as a 5 to 10 year failure, right?
Yeah.
Like, or setback. And I don't, like you said earlier, what did the Rangers do?
Yeah.
What's Philly doing? What's Vancouver doing?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a rebuild. And I don't think you're already past rebuild anyway, because you got guys like Zary and Wolf and Anderson and Uyghur. Like you're not
Coronado, Pelche,
a rebuild
Zary.
To me is a complete teardown where you've dumped everything like Chicago did. And even then, I think that they're back in the playoffs within 5 years for sure. So I'm okay with whether you call it a rebuild or a retool. Maximize your assets.
They'll break ground on a new arena, I imagine, after Stampede here. This is 2024. So we go summer of 2024. So fall of 25 would be 1 year. Fall of 26 would be 2 years. Fall of 27 would be 3 seasons out. That's when you could soonest be into a new building. Guesstimations, but Pike seems to back me up on these timelines. It's not inconceivable that you could be a competitive, young, cost-effective, minus maybe 1 or 2 older guys' contracts that could be a real pain in the ass. And I don't think anyone's going to sell short the owner's interests in running a sound financial business, one that makes money. That's his best opportunity, is having a competitive team in a new rink.
It does, anyway, to the question, it doesn't have to be a forever thing.
Yeah.
You
and so
can-
could you in 3-4 years?
Do
I
it
think it's
right. You
possible.
can get the
Yeah.
right pick. It ain't easy.
No, you got to hit
but
on
you're
some,
not
right?
But you're not starting from zero. Like,
Yeah. So let's say let's play a little game here. Let's say they pick 8 overall. Maybe you win a lottery, you move up. Maybe you don't, but you find a guy that can be a franchise center around there. Like Bo Horvat, I think went 7 or 8. That's a really good player. That's a captain in the National Hockey League. That's a guy that scores 30. That could be, a top 2-line center. Maybe it's even better. There's superstars that are drafted in that slot. You got Matthew Tkachuk at what, 6? Like that's wow. If you can hit on one of those things, that completely changes your timeline. And on the opposite side of the coin, if you go, let's say you win the lottery, but you say, look, Nolan Patrick's the best guy. Like he's awesome. This is the cruel reality of drafting. It is not an exact science. You are forecasting 17-year-old hockey players as men. And so if it's going to be a quick or a long one, a lot of that's going to have to be how'd the picks go. You might have all the right process and all the right picks, and a guy gets hurt.
I can tell you right now, the biggest thing is going to be what's Dustin Wolf? That will be your franchise question, right? For the next 4, 5, 10 years.
If he's your best player for the next 10 years, I think this team's really good.
There you go, right? Then you're not searching for goaltenders, right?
Yeah.
If
Markstrom, what has he shown you the last 25 games?
If
you get goaltending,
yes,
you can hang with anyone.
You're in it, and you're not every night going, oh. If Wolf is good, that alleviates like half of your issues.
It's a really good point. They don't have a number 1 center. There may be a couple guys that could score. Like I think Coronado's going to be one. Maybe Zeri's a guy. Maybe Pelche is a middle 6 checking guy on a back line. Maybe he's more than that. We don't know. But we do know if you have a superstar goalie, look at your 04 team. You had 1 superstar forward, really tough team, strong blue line. Wasn't stars. It was a superstar goalie and a hardworking group.
And I just, there's a million ways to work through it. You can hit a home run on a guy that's good, but mostly the point I'm just trying to make is if Wolf is what we expect him to be, you have solved like the biggest issue. You're not now going, do I use my first round pick on a goalie?
Yeah.
No.
Do I trade my second for this guy? He had a good year 2 years ago.
Posposil, like you're not signing these guys, Jack Campbell's, and thinking, oh, if we can just get some saves out of this guy, we'll be you know what I mean? Like, you've got that issue dealt with if Wolf is what he's supposed to be.
100% that. I want to tell you this segment is brought to you by Charm Diamond Centers. Hey, do you know Charm Diamond Centers is proudly Canadian owned and operated since 1972, and they've got over 85 locations across the country through Charm and their other sister brands. You can get custom ring building delivered in less than 4 weeks with the Charm Masterpiece Program and unbeatable pricing policy as well. Holidays, they've come and gone, but don't worry, it's still romantic. The photos look just as good when you're proposing in those snowy mountains, whatever it may be, Rhett. You just had the whole family together. Did your significant other pass the test drive with the family? If so, go say hi to the folks at Charm Diamond Centers. They've got a great selection of Canadian lab-grown diamonds, mine diamonds, and you don't have to pay till 2025 with their in-store instant financing OAC. For more information, go to charmdiamondcenters.com.
All right, gang, listen up. It's time to learn the pro pose. Coach?
Bend and snap.
Beautiful form. Nice arm extension. Facial expression. I could use some work. All right, let's see it. The pro pose. What's that guy doing?
I think that's the bend and snap.
That's a whole different deal. Charm, home of the pro pose. Oh!
We're back on Afterburner. This is a good comment. And I was just scrolling through and saw this. I might have accidentally clicked on this. We were asked about Dubé earlier. There was some good sound from Ryan Huska today, Rhett, and he sort of said, this is partly on me. I haven't got the ice time I've wanted for Dubé, and it's tough to succeed in that role. That's also the coach deflecting a bit, but we were asked what's next for Dubé. I do agree with you. I think he's back in because when a coach says that, it's like, okay, now it's on coach to try to get him some ice time here. So anyway, kind of an aside there.
Good.
Yeah.
Good going, Dubé, if you're going to go back in, because we don't need to see more of what we've seen already.
Yeah. And as we said earlier, footsteps, Pelche, Coronado, others.
Yeah. It might be your last kick at the can.
Jack, any final ones before we wish everyone adieu? This from Dean's alias. Should the Flames trade for Zegras? I don't think we've alluded to it a bunch over the last few weeks. I don't think Trevor Zegras is Pat Verbeek's type of franchise player. He is an incredibly skilled and unique talent. And Anaheim has the likes of Leo Carlson, Mason McTavish, and now Cutter Gauthier. They don't have to get married to Trevor Zegras, where other organizations probably can't let that type of talent get through their fingers. I think you made that point today. I don't know what the price is, but they don't have anyone that can do the things Zegras does.
This is the problem, right? Like, that's a hefty price to go get a kid like that. So
yeah, and I don't think it's the time to do that if you're the Flames. In 2 years, that might help speed things forward a bit, right?
He's going to
again, if you're collecting all these picks for guys, you don't have to use them all. Hey, here's 2 seconds from 2025. We'll take that guy that can play today. I don't want to wait 4 years for my second rounders.
If you can get him for cheap, go get him. I don't think it's
everything's price contingent.
Empty the tank for it.
Yeah. Okay. Last call, Jacko. What do they say?
Okay, that's depressing.
How do we lose Chicago? Jared, get over that. Come on, man. You can't be living on Sunday. It's Tuesday, baby. Home win. You're going to Greta tonight if you're at the game. You're ripping it up. You're shooting hoops. You got the game card out. You're watching highlights on the TV. Yeah. See what he did there? Awesome. Yeah. Korpisalo really sucks. You're hanging out at Greta tonight. You're not talking about Sunday's game. You're on the wrong show, brother. What are you doing? You're at Greta tonight.
It's years ago.
Ancient history. That was on the road. They're at home forever now, almost. Will the Steelers win without TJ? That Jack, I'm going to let you in on this one. I'm going to let you handle
that. Yes.
I've been getting some screenshots and quotes and game recaps from the preseason. Jack he's starting to believe, Rhett. It is something.
I feel like the Steelers went to Buffalo last year, Jack. Just look it up, see how they did.
He sent me an August game score, which was a bit of a preseason tell, but that was back when Kenny Pickett had the highest quarterback rating in the league. Remember that? How good he was going to be?
Yeah, all the way back to August.
A while ago.
Steelers ain't winning shit. So
we will have our football picks on Friday. We will be back for Barn Burner tomorrow. Rhett, your attendance is in question. Can we expect you on the burner tomorrow?
I'll be on the burner tomorrow. I changed my flight because I was going to leave tomorrow, but next day, Thursday.
Love it. And we will be at the Mullet Arena Thursday night. Can't wait. Friday show, we'll have an Ask Rhett. We'll be live somewhere in Scottsdale with sunglasses is my best guess at how things will go there. And Michael, again, watch your language. Thanks for watching Afterburner, friends. Flames victorious 6-3. Back to 500, Rhett. It's by Christmas, they'll let us know. Well, by the All-Star break, we're going to know. By the time the deadline we'll know. A lot of mixed messages. That's why they play 82. By the end of the year, we'll know. That I am sure of.
We'll have it all figured out.
Talk to you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.